In hindsight, to self. A reflection, or possibly a poem. 1. Understand that smiles are multi-purpose. Come to know them as the bridge between happy thoughts and incomplete actions. Smile when told to, when wanting to, when not wanting to, and when convenient. 2. Open notebook. 3. Place pen to vein. 4. Hurt till it forms a poem. 5. Tell her this one's not about her. Just like the first one wasn't about her, and the second few weren't replacements for her either. 6. Remember that the difference between loving and lying is only in how good you are at it. 7. Write that into your next poem. Make sure it's as ambiguous as possible. C.5. Use fluffy words like angel and goddess in place of pain. Mask Johnny Cash and Amber Run with Destiny's Child. C.6. 8. Tell yourself emotional poets are the worst kind. Say that while writing more poetry. C.5. Replace and recycle and apply to your views on jobs, commitments, and relationships. Apply liberal use of out-of-context songs for reference. C. Oh, where do we begin? The rubble or our sin? C. Sunglasses and Advil. Last night was mad real. 9. Come to know exhaustion as representative of effort. Use it to gauge time used /spent/wasted. And be proud that you walked out of the ashes breathing. 10. Stop writing for a while. Tell yourself you need a break from the rest of it all. See points 2 through 4. Replace poetry with petty storytelling. Use your gift at lie-loving to make fantasy and reality trip their way through a drunken dance-off turned one-night stand. Be sure no one calls the next day. 11. Hate feeling for a while. 12. Lie to yourself until you forget what that feels like. 13. Spend the next 3 years avoiding the same face on different people. Exist somewhere between too high and too hungover. 14. Graduate. Get married. Have a kid. Name her after mom. Hers or yours or both or neither. Relapse. Find regret in places you shouldn't have. Surround yourself in the viscosity of memory, of moment. Hope that no one sees that chip on your shoulder or that heart on your sleeve. Remember that you have things that can cover them both. C.1. Good morning, afternoon, and or evening, depending upon time zone, ladies, gentlemen, and all those in between and beyond that binary of the internet. Welcome back to Lights Roleplay, and more specifically, welcome back for the last time to After the End, an Offworlders story. I am your host for the duration of stream, Young Foxy, and I have with me 4 of my best friends. And I hope to introduce you to them one last time before we go on this tale a little bit and bring it back home for all of you. So, in the order I call you out, please tell the stream and the audience who you are, where you can be found on the internet, who you're playing tonight, and don't worry, there's no question tonight. We'll get right into it, yeah? So, let's start with Michelle.
Hello, it's me, Michelle. You can not find me on the internet because I don't social media. But today I'll be playing Arcane, our sad dragon child.
Fair enough. Arcane has been a lesson for me in reflection, I think, more than anything else. The way guilt can be a burden you put on yourself. And ultimately, when you put burdens on yourself, it's up to you to move your way through it, I think. Moving on and around, let's hit Saint next.
Hey, that's me. Hi, I'm DMF Saint. Am I still muted?
Nope,
Okay,
you're good.
I got my stuff together today. I am playing Adam Anthony, who may or may not be a vestige or a piece of death itself. And for what it's worth, I did want to share. Adam Anthony is both based on one of my favorite characters from a Piers Anthony novel called On a Pale Horse, whose name is Zane, and the person who introduced me to that series, whose name is Adam.
Aww. That's very sweet. I also don't think I knew that last tidbit there, actually. That's very sweet. Thank you for sharing that. Let's go ahead and hit Alicia next.
That's me.
Yeah.
I'm Alicia, or Petty Energy, on Twitch, NNG98 on Twitter, because what's brand consistency? I'll be playing Frey Hollow, our pilot who got to have a reunion of some of a kind. Their parent. I and my character's pronouns are she, her.
Frey's an interesting case of, you know, I don't think the words I have to describe Frey's story are best said here. We'll give that some time. And last but certainly not least, let's swing it over to Sarah.
Hi, I'm Osarix Franco. You can find me all of the places at Osarix Franco. And tonight, Timothy Shade is the name, Illumination is the game. I play Timothy Shade, a former PI trapped in a series of unfortunate circumstances who found his soul inextricably linked to a hotel desk lamp.
I hate it when that happens.
Just a case of the Mondays, truly.
Honestly.
And now we're searching the cosmos and ways to make things right.
And not just make it right, but make it right your own way. If last session meant anything. Speaking of last session, our party found themselves growing closer and closer to not just the truth, but to each other. Moments of understanding and clarity that had been, at this point, days in the making, have finally come spilling out. And in the moment where each met themselves, met the truth of themselves at least, they found not just understanding of who they are, but of each other as well. And as the dust settled in that confusing moment, clarity came in the voice of assistance, asking them if they want answers. And the party answered in the affirmative. Thus, they found themselves jaunted back to May, this time, to a hangar, of all places. Confronted by the ever-present 217 Ayala as they have before, this time not as a friend, but as a confrontation, demanding them to step down. And the party said no. They fought. They stole. Thank you for a follow. They stole the burgeoning ship, the Eternia, activated it, and with everything but hesitation in their hearts, charted out into the very veil itself. And I think we'll pick ourselves up right about there. What you see around you is confusing to understand in places, friends. What is first a purple, black, and dark indigo blue haze of light and color, speckled here and there with points of bright orange, white, and pink. The void is a thing that, where once might have confused you, perhaps even terrified you. This is different. It doesn't unsettle you, nor does it comfort you. Large orbs of pale black, pockmarked here and there with a million pinpricks of tiny off-gray, gently vibrating and buzzing as they slowly drift off in the distance. And at their core, dense and dark like iron fresh from a mineral vein, are stars, or what would have been. I wish I had more adequate words to describe what you were seeing, friends, but the truth is, mortal eyes can only think of these things theoretically. For the truth is, the age of the universe we live in is a finite thing. The light which illuminates us and everything around us, the light which lets us see into the very cosmos themselves, will not last forever. Eventually, the last supernova, the last red dwarf, the last white-hot pinprick of the foundation of life will go dark. The age of starlight will end, and the universe, for an uncountably much longer time than it spent illuminated by the star's glory, will be quiet and cold and decaying. You are here, sailing towards the very edge of it all. Stars that could have once harbored, planets that could have once harbored life, that could have once harbored any of you, can no longer be found. Instead, there's only the cold black of the abyss, the silent waiting of all the void around you. That, and you four, present on this ship, as we move ourselves out across this panorama of star decay, this cornucopia of great cosmic death. We pan our way through the view grass of the Eternia, whereupon we view, sitting in their respective stations, our 4 party members, gathering and discussing, moving towards, well, I doubt any of them know. Let's cut back on you all right about now, yeah? How we feeling?
Does anybody know what? Does anybody know what's gonna happen to the shields if we hit one of those little blob things?
I'd imagine your little screen there will give you a readout there, Adam.
Okay. What if I can't read the screen?
That would be odd.
I
you-
mean, like, what if I don't understand it? Like, what if it's confusing?
You need like a menu button, like click in the top right corner. There's 3 lines.
Yeah, can you just give me like a Logitech Harmony remote or something with like a menu button? Like, of course, I looked for a menu button.
I'm just asking. Hey, Arcane, are you? No, they're fine. They're fine.
Arcade, are you swiping through buttons?
Why do the shields keep going up and down?
Arcade, can you roll me plus intelligence real quick, actually?
Oh, no.
Also, can we get confirmation on what Arcane's pronouns are?
Yeah.
Ah,
Arcane's
yes.
pronouns today are they, them.
They, them. Respect them or get bopped.
Michelle.
That's a 7.
And Arcade, you're on navigation, yes? Your terminal?
Yes. And Arcane is currently like swiping through what looks like a map of some sort, but it's just like it's like rotating and spinning very much like it's just going like ooh.
I imagine that
This is gonna
it's
go
kind
great.
of like the starship, like when they debrief, how all the lights dim and there's like the star map that it like extends out, and it just is like kicking that, like it turns off and it kicks on, and it turns off and it kicks on.
Ooh, this is exciting. With that 7, Arcane, you're footsing about with navigation things, pressing buttons here or there, if you know. As you are flipping through and messing with stuff, you flip your hand across what looks like a pinprick of light. Just in the distance, very, very far, you see what looks like starlight. Just about. Or at least, it did. Until your hand passed that part on the map. And it went out. Cold and quiet.
Did anybody else see that? Did I accidentally Tim?
The bulb flickers inside the lampshade. Tim's leaning back on his chair, like not totally asleep, but just kind of soaking in a quiet moment. And the lampshade will swivel over in Arcane's direction. I mean, you didn't pull it apart, right? I mean, we've been here not that long. What seems to be the problem?
I put my paw through. I put my paw through one of those light things, and then one of the lights in the window went out.
Okay.
Those weird blobby things. They look kind of like stars.
Right. Okay. Frey, you got any idea what the hell all that is?
Frey doesn't respond with just that prompting. Seems very concentrated right now.
Well, Arcane, can you pull up a different blob, maybe? Try that? Or was it a specific coordinate?
Frey, can you roll me whatever stat roll feels appropriate for a piloting check of some kind right now?
Okay, yeah, plus pilot. So yeah, there we go.
Well, I mean, tell me what stat you're using, and the pilot lets you reroll one of the die. That's a skill.
Oh, gotcha.
Hmm?
I think int works for this. If
Int
it was
sounds fine to me.
combat, maybe agility, but I think in this case, int.
I agree completely. What you got for me?
Int so skill roll. I would like to reroll that.
You can absolutely reroll that one,
God, come on.
or both actually, if you want to.
Okay.
Hey, 8 improves it.
It does.
So,
It's my good stuff.
I know. I'm sorry, love. So, Frey, you don't answer Tim, but you hear the your name, kind of like in the same way, but like when you're walking, you have headphones in, you swear someone says your name, so you're like, but you don't actually stop to focus. But it's almost like because a part of your brain subconsciously registered that someone asked you that question, you feel this quick little, it's not a tremor, but maybe a tickle in the back of your brain for a half second, and then a voice across the chip. Destination is 1.7827 million parsecs from current location. ETA around 37 minutes.
I didn't do that.
Correct, Adam. You did not.
Oh, what the hell? Did we hijack the haunted ship?
What is it with mortals and thinking that anything involving space and something strange is haunted?
New friend.
Jesus Christ.
Have you seen Event Horizon? Sorry.
Oh, cool.
I just said, have you seen Event Horizon? I don't know who I'm talking to, though.
The voice speaks and just says, I've seen plenty of Event Horizons. Greetings. My original creators called me Devi.
It is nice to meet you, Devi. I assume this means we didn't actually steal you.
That's, Devi pauses. Complicated answer. Technically, no.
Then I'm glad.
Devi, so you know where you're taking us. Yeah, or rather, you know where you're charting to get Frey to pilot us there.
I am aware of my destination, yes. What it is, that I am not. Which is strange given that, well, I know everything.
Beg your pardon?
I'm an AI. Comes to the territory.
Right.
Ship spirit thing. Sorry, Devi, I don't.
Just Devi's fine.
What did I just do? With the map?
Devi, like, nothing, you don't actually see a manifestation of Devi, so you definitely feel a pause, and then nothing at all. You all are at the end of creation. the end of existence. Stars, planets, matter. It's all going to dust here. You are beyond life and death at this point. Those things have no concept here.
I'm starting to wonder if they ever really did there, Debbie.
You wouldn't be the first.
So what, is this like, that one movie I showed to my kid? There's the big rock guy. You had strong hands.
Book was better.
Nothing?
The book.
Sorry, Adam, what was that?
I said the book was better.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Never-ending story.
Good, because I had no fucking idea. I was so lost. Not even gonna lie to you.
I got it, but Frey wouldn't know.
Fair
Right,
enough.
right.
I was like, what the fuck are we talking about here? I have no idea.
That's the one. That's the one. Is this like that? You know, we go to the end of the existence and call out the name.
Devi kind of not exactly incorrect, as far as I understand. If you're asking where you're going, well, distance is a relative thing. It's a measure of difference in position between one object and another. It requires two objects that can interact anymore. This late in its existence, there is so much space in the universe that particles no longer collide anymore. Time doesn't function. Distance isn't a thing. You are everywhere and nowhere, all at once. In my universe, we were rather far advanced in our technology. We understood that this, well, principle would occur, but not like this. This is so much grander. You see, Debbie kind of pipes up again. It's not just one universe you're watching end. The middle of the ship kind of illuminates with a big map. It looks almost like a spiraling set of cosmic maps that go up and up and up and up and up, and almost look like they never end. But the moment that the full scape of the image is there, it all rapidly starts to shrink back down into one big lump. It's every universe.
Is it kind of similar to how when Frey was in the Weaver room? Is it kind of a similar feeling to seeing that with
I'm so proud of you. We are standing at the end of the multiverse. Or this one, at least.
If we're here, does that mean we can change things?
I am not sure. Universes end all the time. You, if anyone, should know that, Frey. But a multiverse, an entire multiversal structure, to simply collapse. I have not theoretical number to describe how improbable this is. Put simply,
I mean, what?
Sorry,
What the hell is it exactly that we're doing here, right? We're breaking out of this existence, overturning death. What's the gig?
Defi says, I will confess. That is another thing I do not know.
But Debbie, you would know you would know May's Prime Directive.
Absolutely. I used to work for them.
Used to.
Used to.
Why'd you stop? Ship Spirit Devi.
Strangest thing. I didn't. I was doing the tasks I was mandated to do. And then I was delivering you all here. As if I was always supposed to do so.
So maybe you can tell us why May wouldn't want us out here. They seemed rather disappointed.
By my understanding, May's prime directive is order. To maintain whatever seems the proper function across each individual universe, and to a larger degree, I suppose, the multiverse itself. If they oppose your actions, it is because they believe it violates whatever is supposed to be the natural order of things.
All right, yep, that's the part I'm going to jump in on. You say what they believe to be the natural order of things. Does that mean they might not be right?
At this point, if you'd asked me that question before any of you showed up, I'd say it's a finite impossibility. But now, I hate to say it a third time, but I do not know.
Debbie, you haven't been talking in our heads, have you?
I've been relaying transmissions. I've sent none myself.
So, who are we talking to? Who are the transmissions from?
Me? Me and not me. My algorithms aren't computed to understand this. I will need time to adapt.
Fucking same.
So, all right. Let me see if I'm tracking here. But before I do, Devi, there's a structure at May's headquarters.
The Spire.
Yes, thank you. I tried to learn more about it, and well, they weren't too forthcoming on the details. My understanding is that's how they recycle souls, right?
Indeed.
Okay, so we're saying that souls come in, get refined of their past lives, and then sent back out somewhere into the multiverse.
That is my understanding, yes.
Okay, and we've got these void creatures, right? That feed on souls. Am I tracking right?
Yes.
They remove them from circulation,
Indeed.
as it were. Okay, so what if all of this that we're approaching, this destabilizing of the, cosmos or whatever, is because energy that's supposed to be leaving isn't?
Entropy.
Right, Newton's law or something, right? What, second law?
There's like that Is it anything like that? There's an arcane theory that any magic that's being expended, like that chaos is the natural order of things and not order. Is that what you're talking about? I don't know who this Newton is. Is he
It's sorry, but one of my brother-in-laws, he was a high school physics teacher, and he'd have too many beers and try to act like he was smarter than me. Sometimes he'd go off on it wasn't, I mean, it was Newton, something. Entropy in any isolated system always increases, right? So if you've got a system that's constantly pumping souls through it, decay's inevitable, right? Think about it, you know, if you're like oil in an engine, right? If you keep running the oil through the engine, it's going to get stripped of its value at some point. You got to replace the oil. Or arcane, think of a magic engine, and you have magic oil in it, and if you keep putting it through, eventually the magic's going to get stripped out of the oil. Am I making any sense at all?
Perfect to me, Devi says.
I get what you mean.
So what I'm saying is we have to jump start the system. We got to change the oil.
But in but in this system though, is like oil blood like actual blood? Like, do we need to like oil this? Like, do we need to die?
No. If that were enough, this problem would already be solved. We all already died, in a sense.
Yeah, see, that's the thing I'm wondering is the in a sense part.
I have unfortunate news for our theory crafting currently. And that's that it will have to wait.
What do you mean?
You all can start hearing a siren kind of wobbling in the background. That's a proximity alarm. Something's following us. And it's close.
Well, what the hell is it?
Not for long.
Devi is taking time to figure out what the thing is. Are you doing otherwise?
I would like to kick this ship into overdrive.
All right.
We're going to try and make another pilot check.
Please go ahead and make the pilot check. You can go ahead and spend 1 drive fuel if you want to get a +1 to that, given your afterburners you have.
Absolutely.
All right. You are at 3 max drive fuel right now, friends. Be aware of that. Another 8.
Okay, so that's a 9.
That's a 9. Yeah, 9. So, here's what happens. You are all noticing the wailing of the siren when out of literally directly next to you, what looks almost like a May portal pops up and then grows and grows and grows until spilling through it is a massive angular craft loaded with massive engine nacelles pouring this off-green energy. On either side of it are rows of broadside cannons that are already coming to bear on all of you. A little bleep goes off on the front console not too far from you, Frey. It's a communication. You all can tell because of the way the ship kind of seems to speak to you all almost. Not literally to Devi, but I mean just like the way it seems, like things the ship does, you kind of just understand intuitively. When that ping goes off, you all understand it as like someone is contacting us.
Unless anyone voices strong objection, Frey will go ahead and answer.
A hologram peeks to life directly behind the four of you, and it's a figure standing fully at attention. It's a hologram of them, definitely not the clear figure, but it is the tall and muscled figure of 217 Ayala with arms crossed behind her back in a military pose at all of you, and just the moment that figures in front of you, just
Before you say anything, I want you to know that you have a choice. We've followed your orders many times. We've dealt with branches, but this is a new path in front of us. There's something that you cannot control. We all make our choices. We all have our paths. I'm a firm believer in helping people to find the path of whatever they need, if not necessarily what they want. The route you are on leads to an end for your path. I would advise you to take a different branch. You may speak now.
and for your courtesy, I will offer you a similar advice. If the path I am on leads to my own end, the path you all are on leads to the end of everything.
Not really
How do you
making
know
a case
that?
for me to change.
And with every
How do-
ending, there's a new beginning.
And how do you know that?
Yeah, 818 Beachfront Avenue. How do you know that?
She cocks her head. Because he speaks to me. I've heard him. I've seen how tired he is. I can't let you do this.
What the hell is she talking about?
I will keep it very
Yes.
simple. This all barely functions. We are all holding it together by strings and fate and hope. It is all rapidly collapsing around us and has been for a while. I am trying to ensure that at the very least it is collapsing and functioning. You all might just tip it over the edge.
When you came, and if your goal was to keep something that's already crumbling still functioning, you should not have gotten someone who was literally willing to witness an existence end to save the universe. Multiverse is just a little bigger.
And she would speak for all of you?
Uh, I have to ask. Like, it's been on my mind for a while.
Go.
But I didn't say it out loud. I'm gonna say it out loud now. Who the fuck do you think you are? Like, who are you to make these decisions for the universe or the multiverse or whatever? Who are you to put your dirty fingers into all this? Like, have you considered that maybe, just maybe, it's collapsing because you're fucking with it? And that equilibrium will just establish itself if you, I don't know, check your ego at the fucking door? Just thought.
A further confession, then. It's not ego. It's fear.
Shit, join the fucking club.
I suppose there are two reactions one can have to being afraid, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And the rest
That's
of you?
it. I'm gonna go back to studying this monitor now and trying to figure out what it means.
And the rest of you? There is no dissent here. You will all still go forth, even now.
I gotta square with you. 217 Ayala. When you bring something into the world, you already have to ask yourself, what happens when the world's not there for them anymore? You own that. You own all the pain that you're showing them, that you're giving them by bringing them into existence. And I'm gonna be honest, it's not very Christian of me, but I always settled with it because I knew one day it would end. When I brought my daughter into this world, I knew that she could change it, and then she could be done. And that's how I squared it in my mind. And what you're asking me to do now is to keep together something that will keep her trapped over and over. I won't do it. There is something better, and it's behind that fear.
I suppose we'll
And
find
I'm
out
in a
if we reach
position
it.
to find it. I suppose we will.
You know what? I want a little. I got another thing I want to say. That's a really good point. The whole cycle thing. Because 646 New York City. You you mentioned that you heard the voice too. And you know that they're tired. Now, that means you also know that that person didn't make us, but made everything else. Right?
Most of it. Yes.
Right. So if that person's responsible for everything, maybe, and this is the single piece of information I know about technology, maybe it needs turned off and turned back on again. Maybe it needs a reset. Maybe it's like fans need to turn off for a second so that they can work again.
I'll confess, this is normally where I present you with bravado. Some confident one-line answer to prove that I know I'm right and you're wrong. I don't have it.
Okay. It's more open in a dialogue, but sure, okay. We can just leave it at silence. I lied. I have one more question. How do the shields work on this ship?
I'll give you a live test. We'll see which of us is right in the end. Or after it. Good luck. Open fire.
217 Ayala.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. No problem.
I like cool player lines. Go ahead.
217 Ayala. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're afraid. But your fear is warranted. Come at me.
The unknown is scary. Where is your courage?
Let us see if I can't find it. Open fire. And
I think I fucked up.
not a moment or two later, you begin to hear a wane as rounds of plasma begin to ping off of the shields of your ship. And you find yourselves immediately, faced with a barrage of fire as green bolts of plasma energy ping off of a hard shell of blue light just on the outer shell of the ship. Adam, in front of you can already see a large kind of crescent bar that, as it's hitting, is slowly moving its way down. Doesn't get too far down, though, before Frey, you finally get a handle on those afterburners, and with one solid jostle of the throttle, you all shoot forward, and you now have a solid gain on that one. There is trails of plasma fire chasing all of you in its wake. They are clearly still on you guys' asses, but you got a nice good head start on them. So what happens from here on is, I hate to say it, Loves, but we're kind of in one more combat. But before we hit
I figured out how the shields work.
But before we hit that combat, let's grab a little break, huh? We're at about the hour mark. So, we will be right back. You all shouldn't touch that dial, that browser, or anything else. And let's see if we can't get these kids to survive a spaceship fight, yeah? Best of luck, friends. See you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome back to After the End, as I remember to unmute my own mic. Where we last left off, the party is finally confronted by 217 Ayala's warship and are now engaged in a brutal battle. They are pushing forward. Their ship is smaller and lighter. The Attorney is a smaller and lighter ship than Ayala's ship, the Dominus. It's much, much larger and has a lot bigger guns. So it is bearing those large guns down on you. You can see huge heaps of plasma flaring in this darkness as they fly by and pass your ship. But Frey, you've got a really good handle on this, and you're able to just kind of just list steadily in between and kind of keep a steady pattern so they're not able to easily transfix on you all. The way this is going to work is very, very simple. I'm going to move the camera between each of you and them, and we'll just play things out as they're appropriate. When it's the camera's on you, do what you feel appropriate. If that's taking an action, take the action. If that's talking, talk. If it's running around screaming, have fun. In either case, as we are watching this battle play out, as a cannon blast just about smashes into the shield, smashes right on the side of the shield and kind of jars the ship a little bit. Frey, we center back on you with your hands on the helm, juddering just a little bit. You are fully in control of the ship. They're effectively about 2 units distance away from you all. They are definitely gaining slowly. What's your action?
So I think for this, Frey's gonna actually talk. She feels she has a pretty good handle on the piloting, even with getting hit the one time. So Frey's gonna say, going by our earlier conversations, I believe, due to the soul recycling and constant cycle without any ingenuity, that we might be in, I don't know if this will make sense, but something called the morphogenetic field. Because as people experience things, it's occasionally sometimes they'll have moments of deja vu and what have you. And I think one thing that can happen is decay from that is probably what's causing the big void creature, this ever-scaling void and increasing dawniness. But on the other hand, I think people like us can sometimes benefit from it. That extra energy, perhaps thoughts and actions determined by things that are far beyond our control. I think so. If y'all are ever in doubt, just remember, you've done it before and you can do it again.
And if that's your turn, Frey, you want to roll a quick little intelligence piloting check for me?
Sure thing.
Go for it.
And I think we got some +2s.
Everyone's got a +2 right now. Feel free to use them up.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and use that immediately, going by how I've been rolling. So
You
that's
have piloting. Reroll.
8.
You have piloting. Reroll.
Okay, come on. Don't do this.
Much better. That's a 12.
12! Yes!
12. Frey, you are bobbing and weaving. Effectively, you literally managed to, at some point, bank the ship backwards some to pull just behind a blow that flashes just ahead of you all. You are coming down, and you are now effectively giving your ship a solid angle to the flank of theirs, where only half of their guns can now present themselves to you. We swing around now to, let's go over to Arcane, over on navigation. What are you doing right now as the ship is currently engaged in a battle? You can again feel every now and then just a bit of a rocking as the ship is hit. The ship's shields are hit with a round. Doesn't seem like it's too bad though. The terminal in front of you still mostly looks the same as it looked previously. What are you doing?
Okay, I didn't understand half the words you just said, Frey, but that makes sense, I think. Arcane is still like flipping through this navigation chart, and is like, it's just, Ship Spirit
Frey,
Devi, how do I use this?
Real quick,
Oh,
Roby,
sorry.
just like, it's like a cantrip, really easy. You think of it right?
Cantrips. Ah, yes, what they call those is a simple spell that people just like this, and like Arcane will snap their fingers, and a little flame will spark up under the right inside like just under the screen, right?
Hey Arcane, roll me plus willpower real quick.
Okay. It's at 11.
Adam and Tim, who are both on weapons, you notice that Adam, the shields have been maybe dropping to about roughly like 85%. The moment Arcane snaps, they pop back to 90. Tim, the weapon charge was at 100% because y'all haven't fired back yet. You're looking at the weapon charge, 130.
Did you just change course or something?
Arcane,
The shields got stronger
Yeah,
for some reason.
Arcane, you know instinctively, you didn't change course. You did that. You pumped the ship with your magic, basically.
Oh, I can charge this vehicle with my... Devi, what does this ship run on?
Devi says, metamortal temporal energy.
So, the stuff that the void creatures and us run on.
Quite. And I think it's as you're sitting and thinking about that for a bit, Arcane. Let's swing over and check in on Tim, actually. As again, the ship just managed to bank, and you can now see that you have weapons pointed at like a solid flank of the Dominus. It's on you. What's the plan?
Tim, who's been kind of like listening and trying to figure out the console as quickly as he possibly can, kind of nodding as Frey's gone through her speech and listening to Arcane talk, and watches that bar go like whoop to like 130, just goes, oh hell yeah. And he's going to like slam his hand down on the console and rake his arm across, like pointing the gun to just fire, like in a straight line as we bank up, trying to like take out as many like points on the hull of the ship as we kind of like arc by.
Roll me something.
Okay, can I make the argument that it's strength?
Absolutely.
And using the power of our guns?
Actually,
Okay.
I love that it's strength, and I want you to roll. Also, I want you to use your chat plus 2 if you want to.
I will. I'm going to. That's a 14 with the plus 2, bud.
Oh my god. Okay, so the way the dice just know. So, Tim, you grab, like, so as you, like, swipe your hand across, what actually happens is a set of joysticks come up. Like, just, they look kind of like, almost like a
Yes.
pilot's throne, honestly.
Can it be the Han
of-
Solo
yes,
in the chair? Like
absolutely.
he just turns in the chair.
Yeah,
and just
absolutely.
sweeps
No
across.
question.
Fuck
And
yes.
yeah, Tim, you are firing these guns. Something in you registers with this. Like, you feel something in you, like a catharsis almost, be forced out as you're firing. Like, it feels almost like swinging your sword. like letting out that very physical frustration through the firing of these weapons. And as you watch just a quattro of laser guns go out and just rake the side of this thing, you see, after a moment, a section of it goes up in green flame, and the ship lists away a little bit, rights itself, and then tries to begin firing back on you all. As a row of blasts come in, back to you.
Tim's bulb will the light will expand as it glows brighter, and he'll do the classic whoop as we kind of continue down and away, and he'll he's just excited. Tim make big explosion with laser ship. Very happy.
As Tim make big boom, a set of rounds come in from the ship itself, impact the shields. We move back in onto Adam, who is watching the shields currently as they dip down just a little bit. Adam, what are you up to?
So I'm starting to understand how this works now. It's like a give and take. It's like it's kind of like music. Like it oddly kind of looks like sheet music. Hey Frey.
Yeah.
So like you're keeping our ass to them. And I'm gonna need you to not do that much longer because they keep taking down the one part of the shields. This is just a suggestion, and I will punch in some coordinates and send them to you. I don't know how I know how to do that, but suddenly I know how to do that.
Roll me a thing.
And this is just a suggestion, but if you could follow this path at least loosely, I can recharge the shields in the back while you get their fire on a different part of the ship.
All right. Frey'll
I want
go ahead, don the glasses. Flow path acquired. Trace on.
Adam, go ahead and roll me a thing while Flay's finding the flow path.
I like to make an argument this is survival.
Do it.
Awesome.
Is that a stat? What stat are you rolling?
It's not, but it's the thing I get to re-roll.
Well, pick a stat.
I think it should be intelligence.
Intelligence it is. Hit it.
Nah.
Remember your plus 2 for
That's
chat.
a 13.
Oh! Double sixes.
These rolls. Just
Adam. Oh god, I'm sorry. I'm doing it again. Adam, you start focusing in on this, like pressing buttons to a point where you almost start recognizing as you're passing this info to Frey, it's almost easier to close your eyes and just think it as you're moving the shield, kind of feeling it like a rhythm, like blues almost, or jazz. Constantly just this frantic movement of upper ranges to lower ranges, constantly shifting the shields around as you're moving to different frequencies and attuning it and blocking bolts. You open your eyes and you see strings of silver all around the void painting you. As for a brief minute, not just Frey, but you can see the flow path as well.
You know what? That tracks for everything else that's been happening to me. Hey, did I mention I used to be a singer?
oh, but it would be lovely to hear you sing sometime.
Oh, not gonna do that anymore. Anyway, thanks.
All right. We swing around as you all focus in and find yourselves again able to just nimbly weave almost even between bolts of these cannons. Your ship is moving so perfectly and in sync that you're able to activate your afterburners almost. They fire without you having to even burn dry fuel. You're just able to perfectly keep a steady pace and a perfect lead ahead of the Dominus in a perfect angle straight in the middle where all the sort of forward-facing guns can't arc around perfectly. So effectively only a third of the ship's firepower is even able to hit you all right now. Now granted, another round does hit the shields again. They drop about back to that 80-ish level they were at Adam, but you're still able to keep those shields constantly moving and weaving around and taking care of everything as we swing back around to Frey.
All right. Well, I mean, now that the GIF has been dropped in the chat, I feel like I gotta get a little fancy.
Get fancy.
Yeah, so afraid to sort of coordinate in the spirit of Adam coordinating with Frey. Frey wants to coordinate with Tim and say, like, I think we should take a spin. Are you ready?
Frey, I was born ready.
I love
Wait.
this. I love how
Do you mean like actually? Oh my god!
Frey, go ahead and roll piloting for me, please.
Oh.
I'm gonna say this time it's definitely agility though.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So that's my. So that's 9 instead.
Mm-hmm. But I will keep that 10 in mind. Go ahead and roll though. Piloting.
Yep. Come on.
9 is much better.
As I said, 9.
With the plus, yeah. So if you want, do you want to burn dry fuel to add +1 on that, make it full success?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, you do. So yeah, you Adam, just do you really think you're gonna hold my as literally you all pull the ship into a loping, arcing spin, and just as you hit the apex, not as you come around, as you're tilted on the apex, Frey, you gun the thrusters, just poof, off to the side. Ayala from inside, just what? Absolutely no idea y'all were gonna do that. You shoot off to the distance. Track them again. Get moving. Jump if you have to. Damn it.
Oh, can Ayala still hear us?
The comm line has been cut. You all can establish comms if you want to.
That's more like we've worked
Yeah,
into
it's
their
camera perspective
see
real
the
quick.
baddies like all kind of banging on their consoles.
Exactly, you know, little cinematics for y'all, you know? As we swing around and let's check out Arcane again.
Arcane is kind of pulled open this weird star chart map.
Mm-hmm.
And they've noticed, I guess, the blinking light that seems to be possibly the Eternus. And then a much larger red blinking light that's probably the Dominus. And Arcane's gonna try something a little funky. Using a field of magic that they never really used before. It's called sympathetic magic.
Ooh.
And looking at these stars, just... Alright, so... if we can see them and they can see us, Arcane's just going to wrap their ship around in a bit of a... like in the console, in some magic, and just sort of blend, like almost warping the space around that area, and just trying to blend them in with the not light that they have. That's.
Go ahead, Arcane. Go ahead and roll plus willpower. This will be a counter roll as they're still trying to track you guys. So go ahead and roll. She's gonna roll against you for a different skill.
Gotcha.
Remember, you still get +2 if you want to use it.
That's a 12 on the die.
Oh, fair enough. Well, so you get the full success. Here's what happens. I'm even going to give you the opportunity. So this is what happens. I love this because she actually also rolled full success. Here's what's going to happen. So, Arcane, you are building this bubbling orb of magic around them. Unfortunately, the buildup of energy absolutely pings their sensors, and they align the guns on you. They get a solid hit on your shield. I'm going to have them roll damage. It's going to be halved, though. So hold tight. As you guys keep in mind, your ship has 15 total health. Please take 6 damage for me.
That's
-1. Yeah, the half is a 6.
That's a lot of damage.
-1 because of your armor, but...
So 2.
Yeah, so... No. 6 is the half. It would be 12, but it was 6. It's been halved.
Gotcha.
Their ship
Minus
does
the 1
damage.
for the armor,
Yeah, -1, so
so-
5. Y'all take 5 damage,
So
y'all have 10, yeah.
10 is left. 10 left, right?
A solid hit shakes the shields. Adam, you see them drop a little bit, but that flare of bursting plasma creates a big enough flare that as soon as it happens, Arcane, your magic just, and you all feel yourselves. Well, watch as the Eternia basically vanishes. You are effectively perfectly blended into the void around you, and Ayala is just. They're not vaporized. Where are they? Put up a screen. We'll hit them somehow. And you watch as the guns start, rather than where you guys were, move into like positions all around the ship and start putting up a barrage of fire in every direction. Y'all are still more than capable of dodging it so far, but it's just they are not tracking you anymore. Just putting up a barrage of fire as you are slipping and moving through. Yeah, you know what? I'm not ready just yet. Let's go Tim. Let's go Tim again. Go ahead.
Tim, like as we cloak and I imagine kind of like pull a little bit of way, Tim's going to kind of swivel in the chair, and the lampshade's gonna kind of spin, following the momentum as he like turns, and goes, hey Frey, you ever open a sardine can? Just get me underneath, and I'll show you how it's done.
That I can do.
In that case, I want to have you, because I want to put. I let this building up too. So I want to have, for now at least, both you and Frey both roll piloting. I'm looking for combined result, not necessarily looking for like over 10 specifically.
Okay, I will use my
You can
rolling
both
plus
use
2.
so you can roll with whatever stat you want. You can both use Frey's piloting and re-roll for this one.
Okay.
And I will
Yeah, I'm
include
definitely
the
rolling
plus 2
strength
in
still.
Go ahead. Yeah, strength's totally fine still.
Actually, I'm gonna do willpower because that
Willpower it
makes
is.
more sense.
Yeah, willpower makes every sense to me. Go ahead and
I'm gonna
re-roll.
use my plus. Oh, reroll.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Oof.
Oh my god, that's a 12.
Oh!
Super good.
You all.
I think we got it.
Yeah,
I think we got
no,
it.
Frey, you literally just pull this ship into an almost dead halt as you all watch the Dominus is just literally starting to slowly fly above you. And just before we come right back to this, gotta give my boy Adam a turn. Adam, what are you doing as you are watching the Dominus slowly approach you all from above, still putting up that screen of fire all around you? What's happening, boss?
So, GM. I have a question.
Because I feel like I'm having a brainwave moment where I think I almost know what you're about to ask, and if it is, I'm so fucking happy. I want you to ask it to me.
Well, I would like to use premonition to determine the exact outcome of an action that I could take right now.
Okay. Sure.
Hang on. Here, I DM'd you the action.
Okay, let me...
Because I don't want to speak that out loud.
Oh, hold up. I gotta reopen Discord a little bit. Give me un second.
Sorry.
No, you're not. It's not your problem. It's
Okay.
mine for not having it open.
And I'm justifying this by this being like a very internal thing for Adam.
Huh.
I have another idea.
Okay, so to answer your question, what happens if you do that specifically? Regardless of whether or not it works, it'll probably get you where you're going.
I mean, that kind of answered my question in a roundabout way, so I'll take it. Hey, I got questions. I get questions for everybody. First of all, please, Tim, never ask Frey to do that again. I will throw up all over this cockpit. 2, Arcane. If we do something, can you boost the power?
I can shunt as much power as I have.
Great. And Frey, can you do that jump thing I did?
Yes.
You think we can do that with the ship? Like,
At this point,
by our powers combined kind of thing?
I don't think there's anything we can't do.
All right. So we got a couple options. Arcane, can you find that spot again? That, light? The end of the tunnel thing? Because we just need to see it in order to jump there. And if we can see it, we can just be there.
All right.
Or we could, jump into the center of this ship and just end it all and reboot the universe. It's really your call. I'm gonna go forwards or backwards, y'all.
Tim, who's got like his gun, you can hear the weapon systems like charging up for like a blast as he's kind of tapping on the screen. He's like, I'm just along for the ride. It's that bulb is
I
just
love
bright,
this.
bright white.
It's an option. Anyway, we can put it on the back burner. We can do whatever. We could take maybe one more hit like that.
How about I blow their asses to smithereens and then you get us the hell out of here?
Adam is on standby.
Great. And as he says that, Tim's gonna slam his hand down on his weapons console where it will like glow like a red light.
Pause. Right
Go for
there.
it. Yes.
The following things need to happen. I need every person here, and I mean all 4 of you, to roll me a stat check of some kind. What stat? Does not matter. Just roll it. +2s can apply from chat. As you need. No rerolls, though.
I'm using my +2 for an 11.
I will also use my +2 for an 11.
3 successes, looks like so far.
I'm not using my +2. But I got a 14.
Holy shit.
Like a mouse.
So,
I'd like to say that's my second double 6 in a row.
yeah. Yeah. So, you are all contemplating this. Tim, you are charging up the guns. You're all prepping it. You're all getting everything together. And it's as you're watching this barrage of fire be put up by Ayala, watching this ship sail over your heads, you recognize a couple of things. Arcane, you go looking for that point of light. You can't find it. It's not there. And you're confused on that for a bit. Not just you, though. Because your feelings, your emotions, bleed. All of you understand Arcane's lack of being able to find this place without Arcane having to say a word. It's like feeling is something each of you understand. And you're in this moment, banking, bobbing, weaving, dodging, focusing, concentrating, building power in the guns, watching the shields, weaving them like music. A song kind of underlaid in the back of all of your souls. A single note carried together, all united. And then, as one, Adam and Frey, you see it. The one spot on the Dominus, that one angle, the guns are not covering. You don't even have to think it to each other. You don't even have to say it out loud. The thought transfers between you in a picosecond. And before you know it, in a flash of green light, the entirety of the Eternia disappears from existence. Ayala, who noticed that flash of light and detected you all on signal for just a moment, there they... What? And it's right as she says that you all appear, the Eternia appears, zaps, with its main cannon charged and flaring angry red plasma. You snap directly in front of the command bridge of the Dominus. Tim, you have your hands on the trigger. Each of you feels a pull in you. You think of past pains, of lost fathers, of remembered daughters, of resolved friends. And with a roar like an angry deity, you press a single button in, and in a flare of crimson white, that cannon fires. There is a moment of complete quiet. 217 Ayala turns to face the front of the bridge window, sees the flaring, angry white newborn sun preparing to bear down and flash fry her. She does not roar. She does not scream. She does not protest. She smiles. And as the newborn bright white approaches her, she closes her eyes. It's about damn time they figured it out. And then she's gone.
Still not saying your goddamn name.
There is an explosion, the likes of which rocks everything around all of you. The Dominus is consumed in heat, parts of it breaking away slowly and surely until it vaporizes itself in what has to be the closest thing to starlight anywhere in this dark and dead universe. The Eternia is right there in the edge of the blast radius. You are not caught in the blast, but in that instant of bright white light, all of you avert your eyes, or shades as they were, and the world becomes silent, muted, for just a moment, as we go to one last break. And then we'll find out how it ends. You
It's
all.
about damn time.
You all shouldn't touch any single thing. I promise you, you will want to be here for this. We'll be back in just a bit, and we hope you all will be there. Bye-bye. The first thing you notice is whiteness. Or rather, emptiness. Emptiness that reflects as quiet. It's always been quiet here. The void, the pale, the empty, whatever you've come to know it as, Frey. Slowly but surely, it dims away. You find yourself somewhere you've been enough times before. It's a room. It's empty. Sparsely decorated. A small couch, a nightstand, a TV. The light is on. No one's home. A car whizzes by. It's strange, though. I don't know if cars are a thing you understand well, but this one seems to be airborne. Floating, zipping through the air quickly. To this point, you recognize you are hundreds, if not thousands, of feet in the air. An artificial sky hanging just beyond your horizon. It's in the distance, hundreds more of these small little insects, these zip cars, these vehicles, hover and float. And from the corner, finally, an individual walks in. They are tall and slender, their legs digitigrade, reverse jointed, ending in 3 chitinous talons. Their skin tone is a light green, almost off brown haze. And they have 2 sets of arms, each ending in 3 fingers. A head like an insect with wide bug eyes and twin antennae jittering in the head, in the sort of distance. You're dressed in a red suit of some kind, plates and mechanics and gears moving and whirring about them. They approach you, their maw jittering a bit as they begin to speak. I hope this isn't too confusing. It's the best I could figure.
It is fine.
So, you made it.
Apparently. But now what?
Well, now I get to tell you why I brought you here. You see, I picked you for something separate from all of this. I picked you because of your kindness, your humanity, that goodness you bring to not just everyone you've created, but to everyone you interact with. And it shines in every time I hear anyone talk about you. You are a radiant beacon of humanity, and the world needs so many more of you.
There's enough random bad things that happen in this universe or multiverse. I just try and do good where I can to balance it out. It's that simple.
It's always been that simple for you. And I think that's been the hardest thing for me to recognize about you, is that care is a thing you just do. And I can't thank you enough for that.
I don't do it for thanks, but I appreciate it.
And I appreciate you, Alicia. I do. That one will make sense in a bit. Can I go get the others first?
Yes.
Hang tight.
Go ahead.
Hang tight. I'll be back in just a minute. And with that, the insectoid figure with all four arms swaying turns and makes its way out of the room, leaving you in a sense of quiet. Perfect. Nope, not that one. Sorry. There we go. It's not been quiet for you for a very long time. It's not been peaceful for you for possibly even longer. But here, right now, it's about as empty and quiet as it needs to be. You inhale, exhale, and you felt a million pinpricks at the back of your brain just let go, ease off, an exhale of perfectly relaxed pressure. And when you open your eyes again, Adam, you are in a bar, in a booth, off in the corner. It's an old song playing, some pop hit from the last decade, who knows. It's a bunch of white girls in the corner dancing their heads off to it, but whatever. The bartender is old and tired and has been working this way too long, but you know how that works. There's a drink in front of you. What is it?
It's a Boulevardier.
I don't know what that is. Tell me.
It's a Negroni with whiskey instead of gin, so it's whiskey, par, and sweet vermouth.
Huh. Interesting. There's also a drink across from you. It's a mojito. And there's a figure sitting in it. She's not as tired as the bartender, but has that same worker's tired to her. A puff of curled hair tied up behind her. She's still dressed in her waitress's outfit, but she puts a hand on her hip and just sort of puts her elbow up on the table, cocks her head, and says, "Way to keep a girl waiting, yeah?"
I mean, listen, it's no longer than you probably waited for that mojito in a bar like this.
Listen, all right, I have my tastes. No need to be rude about it.
And they're better drinks.
So, you made it.
I don't know what that means.
Give it a few minutes, but I'm proud of you for getting here. If that means anything.
I mean, really get here? Where's here?
It's a good question. I watched a YouTube video recently on the concept of here. It was a really fun thing where they kind of started off with like, well, relative to you, you got up, down, left, and right, from where you are. And then you got like north, south, east, and west for the planet. And then it scaled up, talked about how Earth spins and there's the moon and the sun and how our solars are, we're on an axis, how our solar system orbits our galaxy, how our galaxy is in a supercluster. And just like talked about where here is.
Pushing the mojito out of her way because she's had enough.
Hey now, that's unfair. I'll skip to the point.
Keep going.
Where we are, where here is, don't matter. What's important is that I tell you why I need you to be here. Why I picked you.
Okay. It isn't for my charming personality and gigantic peepee?
Both of those things, yes. But also, I picked you because there's a certain understanding you have of, it's not me, it's the new sphere. You ever heard that word before?
No.
New sphere. It's think of every thought, every cultural idea, every concept as sort of like a sphere that travels the globe. All of the collective human ideas we've shaped over our existence is what we call the human new sphere, so to think, right? You have this really, really cool angle into it that I've always really admired. And at times almost intimidated me. It made talking to you sometimes scary, because I always felt like I had to have some really good insight or else I was wasting your time. But then I recognized what it actually was. You, gosh, for lack of a better term, you just see straight through shit. Things don't cloud you for long. You look at a thing and say, this is what this is. This is what my stance on it is. This is how I feel about it. This is what's right. And you don't just do that about, like, the world. You do that with your friends, too.
Some for better, some for worse.
True. I guess I'm lucky in that I was one of the better ones, huh?
Yeah, I also need to correct you just a bit. It's that right word that you used there. I don't know that I assume it's right.
Really?
But nobody seems to question it when I state it, so I guess it just comes across that way.
It's just the way you see through things, you know? That scrutiny. It's like when someone with a hawk's eyes says there's a bird over there, you go, there's probably a bird over there, right? They got the eyes for it.
Yeah, so how did you and I meet again? Was it at a bar like this, or?
Yeah, actually, you made me, funnily enough. Well, no, he did, but it was because of you. Talia's my name. I work here. Y'all popped by for a bit just to say hey a year or two ago. It's a fun little trip there. Wish I got more screen time, gotta say, but I won't blame that on you.
For a second there, I thought you were gonna go like some whole daddy route, and I was gonna tell you I'm not really into that.
Fair enough.
So what's next?
Well, next, I grab the last two, and then I get you all the fuck out of here, probably, yeah. Right?
I mean, I don't know. The vibe in this place is pretty good. Do we have to?
You can stay for as long as you like. This place is always here for you. You made sure of that.
Like you said, I can see through things. See how it is.
Yep. Catch you in a bit, Saint. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Later. She'll hop up and move her way back behind the bar, taking a tray along with her as she does so. And you are left to the noise of late 2010s pop music and a couple of drunk white girls. As we move ourselves forward. Un segundo, I almost got it. No, I got it now. Hold up, here we go. Nope. Yup, got it. Quiet's a weird thing for you. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes you're thinking it too much. This ain't quite quiet, though. It's stasis. Absence, maybe. Takes a minute, but you finally manifest. I missed the wrong song, sorry. You look down at hands newly flesh, at a floor of familiar tile, at an office you've worked at for so long now. And the students still run in and out every now and then, even when you lock the door. But you've finally given yourself just a bit of quiet. You have a visitor after all. Just across the desk, sitting, but very clearly not sitting still. Darker skinned, burnt orange hair, flattened to its back. Not capable of hiding the ears, though. An auburn jacket, fine and refined, a little red book in his hand, and eyes still jittering back and forth, as he can't quite meet them. He does look back and forth for a bit, though. So you made it, finally, huh? And I want to call you Tim here, but that's not quite your name anymore, is it? Not right now, at least.
No, I suppose not.
The figure in front of you is familiar in a way they shouldn't be, almost. This person, well, their tail ended already. Ended somewhere else, with someone else. And yet here they are, waiting for you again, and clearly very unsure of what to say.
I'm glad we get this.
I am too. I feel like we never really got the time.
I always felt like there was so much more going on. Too many distractions.
Yeah. I wanted to tell you this if I ever got the chance, and I guess I have it now, but when I stayed behind, when I let you all get away, can I tell you what I was thinking of, or who?
Of course.
You, Janet. I loved you and never got to tell you it.
For the record, I feel like I failed you in those moments. Yeah. There was a story that I missed.
Can I tell you why I picked you? And then maybe we'll see if you still feel that way.
Yeah.
I picked you because you have this incredible ability to lift people up. People can't be down around you. People can't hurt unattended around you. Even in the small things. Even in the moments where you don't know they're hurting. You just kind of always find a way, I guess. And so I knew when it came to this, I knew it wouldn't work unless there was someone to push me back up in the end. So I needed you for this.
Thank you.
Of course. But if I've learned one thing, and I want to talk a little bit about it after I get you all here, but I've learned that stories don't really have an end. They get a last chapter maybe, but that's only when you're ready for them. And if you're not, well, I guess what I'm saying is, if it's a story you and I missed somewhere, maybe one day we'll tell it. I sure hope so.
The second chance.
Second chances. I think I got one more to go grab if you don't mind. Hate to leave you here like this, though.
It's all right. Get to the good part.
Thanks, Sarah. I mean it.
Of course.
See you in a bit, yeah?
Absolutely.
The figure slowly, nervously, and with poise rises from their chair and exits through the office door, leaving you to a brief bit of raucous noise of children running through hallways and then the quiet of an office. The veil is never quiet for you. You haven't known it like that. You've known it as singing and noise and chaos and space. Always. But as it resolves itself, you find yourself somewhere that shouldn't make sense to you, but feels entirely too familiar to do anything but that. It's an old cafe bench, a wide window looking out to a wide street, a high sign up not too far from it, blaring neon colors. You're sat, surrounded by your work, the way you always are. Too much tea all around you. And across the table, leaned back, clearly bored and disinterested, with a cigar halfway finished, and something soda like carbonated in the cup next to him, yawns and says, "Oh, it's about damn time you got here. Fuck, woman."
Yeah. Well. It's quite a ride, Kit.
You can say that again, right? All of them. Not just this one. Fuck, how many times have we done this? You and I? It's 3? 4? 5 maybe? I've lost track.
And so have I.
You got a favorite?
No.
Fair
Maybe
enough.
the next one.
Yeah, I mean, there are certainly more to come. You're persistent around here, I've found. It's part of why I picked you, actually. Sorta. I've lost a lot of people, Ma. You know? A lot of really good people. You never really see it coming. Someone's just there and then, you know? But despite how many times I think it, how many nights I spend worried I'm going to say the one thing or ask for the one thing or do the one thing or push the one button that's going to just send you off the edge. You're there every time. And I don't have the words to explain what that means. But when it came to this, I knew I needed you here. To see this. To see what you made.
It's always my pleasure to be here.
I hope you'll keep returning for as long as possible.
Always.
I think you're my last stop, so how about I go get everybody else real quick and then we'll wrap this up, yeah?
Lead the way.
Before we grab them, though, Michelle, thank you for being one of the best friends I've ever had.
Thank you for still being here.
It's because of people like you. Come on. The figure, Fox, gets up, makes his way to the door of the cafe and opens it. There's only blackness beyond it, but he holds a hand out. Ladies first?
You always know I'm the one who likes to hold open the doors.
Yeah, I know, it's weird.
Thanks.
You step through, you find yourself in perfect quiet. When the blackness resolves, you see the four other people you see around you right now. All around you. Not the people they brought into this story, but the people behind the people. Hey guys. About time we made it here, yeah?
Hey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just about.
I've been holding on to this one for a good while, but now that it's all here and it all makes sense, I figure I might as well give the spiel, yeah? If you can't tell where you are, this multiverse of ours, these are all the stories I've had in my head over the years. All the worlds I've come up with through nights of writing and hours of voice calls with all of you and campaigns we've run together. That made all of this. And I don't know what happened to me, but at some point, I thought that I didn't want to do this anymore. I thought I should pull the plug on everything I've built. Nothing has wanted to end these worlds more than me, myself. And I knew for a fact that wasn't right. I knew someone needed to help me realize that. And so I was a bit selfish, and I did all this just to ask four of my friends to help save me. And I really appreciate the four of you for doing exactly that. I don't know exactly what happens from here. Wasn't gifted with foresight as a power, unfortunately. Just quick wit and cute face. But I do know, despite trying my absolute damn hardest, I can't put this down. I can't stop this. I woke up not too long before hit the midpoint of this campaign and said, if I'm not alive for anything the fuck else, I'm alive because I love telling stories with my friends. So thank you, all of you, for keeping me alive. And I mean that to all of you. And I guess I'll just say, if there's nothing else to be said, this absolutely is where this story finds its end. But after it, there are a million more stories to come. And I hope, if I peek out, pluck a single realm from the infinite multiverse of stories we can all tell together, I can find at least one of you there every time I do. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I don't think I'd rather be anywhere else right now.
It means more to me than you know. If y'all don't mind, I'll do this a little abnormally. I know we normally do our outros. After we get to the end here, we do our outros and send ourselves off. But I think, for the sake of keeping it a little organic here, just quickly let the people know who you are, who you brought to this story, and then I think I'll give us one last thing to hand us home, if that's okay. So let's go ahead and just Discord order, I guess, doesn't really matter too much. Go ahead and say goodbye.
I'm fine starting.
However you'd like.
Yeah. So once again, I'm Alicia, or Energy here on Twitch. I stream games Sunday nights. Find me over on Twitter at NNG98. Puns, snakes, all manner of things. And I do want to make sure it's very clear. I was going to do what I'm going to say I'm going to do, regardless of anything that was said in this session. Because I wanted to make sure that, because we're all, things like this, it's fun to do, but it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort. So I wanted to make sure this last episode was sponsored, even if it was from me. So I was going to make sure, our GM was paid, our players were paid, because this is a great story and I've deeply enjoyed it. So at the very least, you can all, like, to your TTRPG resumes, add a TTRPG to this. I was going to do this regardless. As a note, I always plan to do this.
Fine, if you
I have endless
insist.
pockets for this last episode. There we go. It's been great.
Yeah, thank you for being here and for sharing this with us, honestly. I think it's you, Michelle.
Hi, it's me, Michelle. I don't social media, so don't try to find me there. I guess technically you could reach out to Kit, because Kit can always find me. But yeah, I played Arcane, our sad dragon child. I don't know, what do I say here beyond just, I'll be here. I'm always here. This is what I do. This is what I... Do you know how happy it is to just know that you made it past freaking 22, man? We celebrated so hard on that freaking New Year's Day.
It was a very, very good time. Again, if it's already not been said, you're someone I am so very glad to have had enter my life, and I hope you remain in it for as long as humanly possible. Thank you for being here, Michelle.
Always.
Saint, it's on you. Oh no, I got a sage sip. Oh no. Oh man, the highest of praises. I got a sage sip. Wow.
I'm DMF Saint. I played Adam Anthony, who is very much an aspect of where my head has been at that I wanted to explore in a safe environment, and I trust these players and this GM implicitly to do so. This has been an amazing experience. And really well done. Really well told. That's all I'm going to say. I have nothing else to share other than please pat yourself on the back. You and the rest of the cast as well, but
only so well told because I had amazing people with me who helped me tell it. You have brought so much to this, and you saw how hard I freaked out when I got you confirmed for this to begin with. I think that speaks for alone how badly I needed you here. Thank you for coming on this journey with me, honestly, man.
Mm-hmm. And it was more of a Matt sip than a Saint sip, but you know.
Matt sip, Saint sip, one of those sips. I'll deal with you, Matt. I still got beef with you, Matt.
I know.
And of course, last but anything but fucking least, you move over to the incomparable Osara X Franco.
Hi, I'm Osarix Franco. Oof. Let's see if I can get through this next bit, huh?
I got you.
I played Timothy Shade. He was a man that taught me a lot of things over the course of the last 6 months. He taught me what it means to protect what you love. And how to find new meaning in ways that you didn't realize. But more importantly, Foxy, because of you, Tim taught me that light we all have sometimes flickers, sometimes fades, sometimes burns brighter in the moments that we need it, but it never goes out. Thank you.
I each of your characters will sit with me for a very long time after this story of ours comes to a close here, but Tim was a very unique opportunity to allow a player to delve into an arc that I felt like let both me and them experience things and maybe even heal in a way that I didn't plan on. And I can't thank you enough for always going there with me. Always. Each of you, every single one of you. I've said it before, but every episode of this show, you all just went there. Every time. And I can't thank you enough for that. I can, however, give you all one last poem if you'd like.
Please.
So before we send off here, I will offer you exactly one other thing from me. My lover finds me plastered to the bathroom floor, crying to Alicia Keys at 2 a.m. on Wednesday, and all I can think to say to her is, please don't tell my dad. I fear his name will seance him back to the present. That his presence might haunt the air around us, might swallow my breath and suffocate the whole room. My father always knew he could take up space. He has 2 hands big enough to swallow an entire sentence between them. Hands that pretend to be soft just long enough to make you think he didn't hurt you. I remember my father in t-shirts I'm 2 sizes too small for, but still wear until I rip too many holes in. I wait to pass them on to the next girl to spend a night naked with me. Cover her in my father's memory to make it not so hard to let her go the next morning. And maybe that's not a horrible thing, but it makes me feel vindicated. Like every time I do, I'm casting out another bit of him I can't seem to let go of, making it someone else's burden to bear on the walk home. I've left my father's ghost in every girl I've ghosted. I pray each one will be the last, but they are always more t-shirts. More traces of his scent melded into mine like a parent's embrace. And sometimes I think it's all too much. I hear my father's voice sometimes, come drink with me, son. I'm only 13 then. He sees this is wrong written all over my face and smiles like a sharp knife. Like something on the edge of breaking something says, I know it ain't okay, but I'd rather you do bad things while I'm watching you. My father has always been watching me. But recently, I got shit drunk on Discord with a bunch of my friends and laughed until I couldn't breathe anymore. And in the absence of breathing, I've never felt more alive. The other day, I cried my eyes out over someone I've never met, as 9 people and more who look just like me breathed their last because someone hated the way they breathed. Not that long ago, I told my mother that if the last thing I ever think of is her, I will go to heaven happy. And my mother said, there is not a heaven for any place a son can go without his mother. I see my mother and my father and my friends as the only heaven I am worthy of. And I will sing their praises until a million hallelujahs blot out the stars. This has been After the End. I've been Young Foxy. These have been my cast. You all have been incredible. We're in Lights Roleplay. Take care and have a wonderful evening for yourselves, okay? Bye, guys.